Here we go. We've got Susurrus.
Hello, hello. So, Susurrus, before we get into it, who are you? Who are you playing? What is your role within Anbennar?
My role? Well, I'm playing Brellar, which is funny Republic tag in Northern Inn. Definitely not a very bugged mission tree. It's definitely not like I definitely didn't PR it specifically so that it could be in like one day before the dev clash started. I would
Fair.
never.
So you're basically saying it has not passed reviewing.
No,
It's
it's
past reviewing.
perfect.
Or
It's
balance
was-
check, sorry.
Balance
Balance
checks
check.
it passed. But then people played it, and I got like a review from the Chinese community that was like, very, very well formatted and written. And one of its comments was, "This mission tree is the most tormentful mission tree in all of Anbennar ever."
that's
Okay.
high praise. Did they play a Mayan?
I don't think they meant it in a good way. I've
I don't
since
know, I'm
buffed
taking
it.
good.
And it's stronger now. Like, I mean, I always thought it was fine, which is kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I'm also a lot more experienced of playing in the inn than most players are, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so. It's
Generally, my role in Anbennar's development is I am inn lead, kind of. Labstein is the region lead, and I do answer to him, but largely I've led Innic development since Amanda left.
okay.
Yeah.
So how long has that been since Amanda left? Because I see she is your overlord in game, at least in the
Yes.
inn.
Well, she does not. Well, she's technically developing for Anbennar for Obsidian Legion because of a joke I made with her. So, she's stuck on Obsidian Legion development. I have promised to make the province map for her mod.
I like that a
Yeah, her
lot.
mod.
I
I
think
believe, what was it called? Hang on. Defiance of Rotalon? I think is her
Yes.
mod name. Yeah.
Listen, you just refer it as Beaver mod, and everyone will
Beaver
know.
mod. Yeah, okay, fair enough. That's why
fair.
the Discord server is a beaver. Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
I mean, that's the defining feature. Everyone joins, they're like, there's a whole world, and everyone is like, okay, but where Beaver?
No, that's exciting. I've been looking forward to, or I've been wanting some content for the Obsidian Dwarf since I first got surprised by the Obsidian
Since you
Legion.
first found a funny calcite layer.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, before the Republic got revamped as have the base absolutism just be integrated into Republic form, they were this Republic that would just give you absolutism, and it was always desirable to play as them, honestly.
That's had really good ideas. But
Yeah.
yes, to go back onto the yin and your role, you are content reviewer then for the yin. You're not the yin
I'm
lead.
no, well, largely I do most of the Innic reviewing.
Right.
So Labstein will hop in once I've done reviews and fine tune stuff and approve it finally.
Yeah.
To go into content review. And I do content reviews, but I don't content review in the inn because that would be me doing 2 reviews. I can do it.
Mhm.
I think we technically did it for Bosankovac because that went through me and Labstein, and since we're both content reviewers, it was like, this does not need a content review. That seems a bit stupid.
Right.
But otherwise, I do content reviews, across other regions. I'm doing one in South Aelentir, one in Rahen, and or wait, was it? Is it? Yeah, one in Rahen. Well, I guess I finished that one because Buvari is largely approved by content.
Uh-huh.
I need Edward to do some final fixes, and one in Yanshen.
What's the process like for making stuff for the inn that might be different from other regions? Because um it's very much out there and not, it's not like a player's first pick, let's say.
I think the main difference is it's very difficult to make conquest missions because you're going to be taking Yosahar generally, and that means you have, a lot of it becomes very formulaic. Take this one, take this one area.
Yeah.
Either the tag that generally owns the area is your Yosahar, or you own the area. Tends to be how it goes, and that's something I've been trying to fix because long before I became a content reviewer, when I first sort of took over as the main regional reviewer for the Inn, I got talk from content reviewer who spoke to me about this and said that most of them seem to have the same issue with conquest missions, where it's just the same area, or just take one Yosahar per mission.
Right.
So we've been trying to fix that and make conquest missions more dynamic. Brellar doesn't really, I mean, it kind of does that in some cases. I've tried to fix it a bit. There's a couple missions that do suffer from it, though, unfortunately.
I mean, having a couple of missions in a mission tree be conquest related isn't the worst thing in the world.
It's not that it's conquest related, it's that it's, very plain and simple. Hello, here's an area. Take the area.
Right. All right. Okay. So what do you do instead then to avoid that issue?
Well, if I'd look at missions, I could speak about it, but I can't because we have a hotjoy. Generally,
Damn it,
things like
Scoresby.
generally simple things tend to be quite enough. So develop up the area, build a certain building there, because it mostly it's a matter of creating some flavor as to why you're conquering it and what you're doing to integrate it or to make the vassal loyal. Because it's also a thing that when you take an Yosahar, you're going to be a disloyal bastard. And the change we did was disloyal Yosahar no longer give authority. So you have to keep them loyal. And this was done because before you could just conquer the entire inn, and due to Paradox AI, they never revolt.
Yeah.
Eosahar is the name for vassals in the inn.
Yes.
Yeah, just
special subject type that has increased force limit and pays less income.
Okay.
But they also don't take Diplo slots, and they measure their liberty desire, as themselves individually and their allies, not as the whole vassal chain against their overlord.
All right, cool. Just you kept saying Eosahar, and I was like, hang on a minute. Okay, that's what that is. Fair.
I
Yes.
pronounce it Ayashatar. I'm sorry.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I've watched your streams, Findeath. It annoys me, but, you're, everyone mispronounces Inn names.
Everyone mispronounces everything. I remember giving Wagensu a bit of a giggle about how I pronounced Orgelhovar. That's probably still wrong, but yeah.
I mean, I don't know if Wag pronounces it entirely correctly either, but then, he's the dev, he's allowed to mispronounce it.
See, I get around it by just saying that I pronounce everything perfectly first time, and you come at me. And that seems to work.
Whatever I say is going to become the official name now.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Yeah, that's why it's still Celadora.
Yeah.
I'll die on this hill. All right, so you're playing Brellar. Did you make the mission tree for Brellar then?
Yes, I did make the mission tree for Brellar. It was a cooperative thing, because originally I wasn't going to. For a while at least, I wanted to make the Kelmaldor mission tree, but then that was taken for a long time, so I moved to work on the inn. This was like over a year ago.
Okay.
And then Pivel, who's a fellow North Aelentir reviewer who's currently substitute playing for Leptone, wanted to make a Brellar mission tree, and I at the time had expressed a lot of interest in Brellar, and he asked me for advice, and we both concluded that the tree kind of needs a Malaknar situation where you have the option to either go your own way or to form the Unic Empire, which Malaknar.
Yeah, I always appreciate that, because sometimes I want to go to the Unic, or sometimes I want to be a Battle King, because that's pretty awesome too. So it's just depending on what you feel.
So Brellar can either reform the Unic Empire as a more republican institution, but still with dynastic rule, because that's one of the main things of Eosahars, is that you're swearing fealty to a dynasty, which is why the Inn despises republics, because they feel like it's flimsy rule, because every 4 years you're swearing your sacred oath to a new guy.
Makes sense.
doesn't.
So that's
Uh,
sort of the flavor then of the Yin, is that very dynasty focused then. So Brellar definitely doesn't fit in with that kind of concept.
yes.
How
I mean,
how
originally, the reason for this is Brelar is ancient. Before the legendary founder of Lukausta, the original Innic kingdom, came to the inn from the Kingdom of the Mountain, which was basically precursor Vault. Uh,
yeah.
Before that, Brelar was already a thing. There was a republic in the mountains, Versargan and Brelar, that was, tribal, as far as I know, and, probably quite primitive, but, they were there. They had a clear institution of, we elect our leaders among our elders, and they then elect an actual, representative of the full government, and that was how it worked.
I'm getting
And
quite heavy Venice vibes from this.
Yeah, it's
Being
quite
a republic underneath
Venetian.
the empire, underneath the Roman Empire. Was that any kind of inspiration,
they,
or just
I
Was
do
it
not
Venice?
know.
I thought that was San Marino, or what was the other
they
one?
they
There's
both
like,
fit really for it?
yeah,
Well,
Monaco, I think. As well.
it's entirely possible due to the fact that the Innic Empire is very Roman inspired.
Okay,
Yeah. Also,
I'm
I just want to interrupt. I'm sorry, but can I ask what you're doing with these rebels in your land and not fighting
Oh,
them?
yeah. Well, you know what I said about my mission tree definitely working and not being bugged.
So yeah,
brute
that's
Actually,
forcing
this
it
is
away.
technically my mission tree. There's there's a thing where Innic Yossahars do not get the modifiers of they don't count as having done the reforms of their overlord, which should be the case because they have done, they have the religious reform of their overlord enforced on them.
Okay,
And because of this, a lot of triggers for my missions don't work. But my mission tree is designed so that I can be any religion. So if I switch out of inner worship, that's not a problem. Therefore, funny dragon cult religion.
why not?
Dragon Cult Republic. Yep, that sounds like it.
I mean,
I appreciate
in
a
my
dragon
mission
cult.
tree, I do make a dragon cult republic. I can't do it this game because Alexis is in the way. But
Yeah,
normally, you make Drosh Masrakat, the Dragon Republic.
Dragon Republic. Oh, that sounds great. You're not gonna have a Dragon King on top where they're just ceremonial purely, and the Republic has the power.
I
That's
mean,
not what it was.
you have the speaker of the council, because Gospod, which is the title of the Dragon Dominion's ruler, is basically speaker. Normally, they're the speaker for the dragon, so the voice of the dragon. But in the case of this Republic Brellar makes, they are the voice of the council, and the council is the dragon's council. So ceremonially, the dragon is in charge.
Look, I appreciate dragons. Clearly, obviously. So
Yeah,
I'm
no,
I'm
everyone
totally
loves
sold
dragons.
by this right now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And when we get Droshmatur mechanics done, it will actually be interesting. Copium.
I will then wait until that is done, and then I think I'll give Brellar a spin. Why not?
Yeah, enjoy the most tormentful mission in Anbennar ever.
So how with what the game is going at the moment, you are a I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. Aosh. Hang on, what's it called again?
I'm just gonna make up a new word and say
Iosahar. All
Orishtar.
right,
I mean,
Iosahar.
you can say Oathkeeper, because that's what it means.
You are an
Nah, that's
oathkeeper of the
boring.
Yinnick Empire, but the
Yeah.
game in 1444 doesn't start with this situation. Like there isn't a
No.
Yinnick Empire, there isn't a massive vassal swarm situation. So how do you make a mission tree that wants to direct you to being a vassal of another country?
It's not directed, it's just made so that you can be a vassal.
Okay.
Because, well, Brellar remained a republic under the Innic Empire. because they're still a republic.
Yeah.
They've been since 100 after Ash or something, and they're still now. So
Yeah.
my conclusion with that was basically it shouldn't limit them. You should be able to. You can't. If you choose to do your Unique Empire path, you obviously get locked.
Yeah.
Because you can't. You'd have to dismantle the other Unique Empire before you can form your Unique Empire. But if you want to do the Republic path, you can do it as a subject, and then you just have to make sure things work. It can get there's a bit of jank in it, but I'm sort of working on that. And then you can do a funny co-op run if you want, I guess, because I think co-op runs are neat.
Yeah, I
Runs
mean
are neat.
the mod has some already, and definitely having more in unique areas is I'm down for that.
Yeah, I think there's several co-op nations currently in, like Moonhaven and the other one, Istrelor.
Istrelor
Or-
and Moonhaven.
Yeah, and then there's the other one
Cookdeer
in...
and Hammerhome, Zegdeer and
Yeah.
Azka Sur.
Yes.
There's one in Bulwar. Yeah, that you said it. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm completely blanked on that.
Um,
Uh,
so what nations would you work really then for the co-op in the Inn? Is it Brelar and like Averin would work well together then, or could you do others?
I think Brellar and Arverin are fine. You have to do a bit of because Arverin takes provinces as mission rewards, but you have to give back because they take the dams, which Brellar needs.
Yeah.
So it's not entirely functional, but other than that, it's entirely doable. Obviously, they weren't designed to be compatible. I think some other tag like maybe Stanir Rada might be more functional as a co-op. Or then maybe one of the southern republics like Velstomfan or Tromshana, which aren't alive in this game. But Velstomfan and Tromshana are also republics, which gives them some connection. And, well, Velsbakar becomes a republic through their mission tree. Or
yeah,
should.
well, we... Why are we paused?
I don't know.
Probably somebody lagging behind, I would imagine.
Soren was lagging behind.
Oofed.
Enrico Dandolo is a month behind.
Yeah, the doors of Venice slowing us down.
Yeah, Tellum player, lagging the whole lobby. OPM.
Tell him to speed up. But all right, yeah. So there is interesting things happening in the inn. Is there more to come? Are there other? Do you plan on giving all of the tags in the region some mission trees, or are there any that are on the horizon?
Bosankovac is in coding, as far as I know. There's among the settlers, Shining Circle or Bagaston is also in coding. Other than that, Mokvare is going very far in development. Velsbakar it's been stalling for a while. Velspadhekai also was stalling for a while, but recently we've got a new draft, so Aurus can hopefully get back to working on that or reviewing it. Jellicow is developing it, who was the Nusher player in this lobby.
Yeah.
There's probably a fair few more that I don't remember because there's a lot of work being done at the moment. Currently already coded for the next update. I finished working on the Amachim's mission tree, which is designed by Amanda, but I've coded it.
Okay.
And I've made a bunch of content for it that Amanda didn't really specify. So, for example, there's a whole jousting mechanic that you can do where you host grand jousts, and I made a rock, paper, scissors kind of event chain for you jousting people.
Nice. What is it?
Okay. And other than that, there's free marches, which is another spawnable. They're half orcs. They are in the Cursed Forest.
Yeah, they go in the Cursed Ones Forest. There we go. Those freaky deaky looking guys in the north. Right there.
I don't know if free marches will spawn this game because they require somebody with orcish slavery to own a bunch of provinces in Dallaire, which I don't know if we have. I can't see Dallaire.
Well, there's nothing in Dallaire right now, so there's the Maria, I guess. If that
Well,
no,
they don't count, I think, because it has to be a colonial nation.
yeah, okay, yeah, no colonies there. You might have to ask Orbitrol to
I
lend
don't
a
think.
hand there.
I mean, I don't think I need free marches. It's just then I get land I don't have to colonize.
It might still happen. What
Might still haven't.
what is the difference in process then if for making a mission tree that is, you're coming up with the design and the coding versus when somebody else makes the design and then you do the coding, like what's the is there any difficulties with that?
I don't think. I mean, in some cases, definitely. I think a lot of the time it will require like a lot of cooperation between the coder and the designer. For example, Gemradkurt, which is a big mission tree that was added for this update, it was coded by Mati, the Moonhaven player, and
Uh-huh.
designed by Takasaki, who who is not playing, I think. But they've done Gemradkurt and Sayadan and such. And then I remember looking at that thread, and there was a lot of communication because Mati needed clarification on a lot of stuff, the stuff he was doing. In my case, Amachimst is very straightforward and simple, and I also understand Unic mechanics pretty well and what Amanda wanted from them. Sort of a third of it she had already coded, notably. Not, I'm not going to comment on Amanda's code. Uh, we don't talk about it.
Well, she's in my chat, so
Oh no,
her
I
her
didn't say
reply
anything.
was "Wow, buddy."
I didn't say anything.
No, nothing bad at least. Nothing too bad.
No, I have the
Um,
right to remain silent.
and there we go. So yeah, just communication really is the big thing then.
Yes, because I mean I think that's a big thing in mission design, tree design in general. I think it's not just about if you have somebody else coding for you. I think it matters a lot for reviewing as well.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier to do reviews when I have spoken to people and I understand what they want from their content. Sometimes it means it gets a lot more complicated because I realize they can do a lot more fancy stuff and more interesting stuff. So for Buvari it took a long time because I kept telling Edward to challenge himself and, you know, and describe mechanics to him that he could be using, which made more work for him and more work for me. But I think Buvari went really well when we actually got to a conclusion we both agreed on.
I think Bavaria is a tag that would deserve that level of extra
Does.
mile as well.
Yes, it very much is a tag that needs sort of a lot of interesting content because it's a massive tag. I mean, Buvari is one of the funny game enders of Hales.
Oh yeah, no, definitely know that one.
Unless it's a great or mythic conqueror, in which case they get smushed into the ground by the Raj.
Or the
I
command.
mean, yeah, that tends to happen. But if you don't
Yep.
play with Mythic Conqueror, then suddenly infinite money tends to win out.
True.
It's also an issue of designing their mission tree because you have to account for the fact that this tag does not have economic problems.
Yeah, you have to probably do something where it has to have something very specific done that AI can't really do.
I mean, they're gonna start with not being able to hire mercs.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
I
that's
like
brutal.
that. No, that's great.
The lore explanation. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not the best person to do Rahan lore, but I did the content review for this, so I'm quite invested and knowledgeable, I think. But basically, the lore explanation is Buvari is a slave revolt as a nation. It's sort of a loose. It's not so much a tag as it is three families who have taken the political reins of a slave revolt and are maintaining power through the use of slave soldiers in their army.
A la Mamluks with the main
And yes, and basically the entirety of Rahen doesn't recognize them as a real state.
I mean, why would you? They're upstarts.
Yes, and thereby, you can't hire mercs. You're not a real country.
I like that explanation. Oh, that
Yeah,
works for me.
can I just ask, like, is the dragon still in hiding in the Buvari? Like, wasn't she part of this whole original slave revolt thing, or is that old lore?
Uh, the Lady of Brass Bangles is one of the 3 leaders of the slave revolt,
Right,
along
okay.
with Abazima Sky Eyes and Bulwari guy whose name I don't remember. But the Bulwari guy is the guy who ends up taking control afterwards, because the Lady of Brass Bangles leads the revolt and then leaves, and Abazima Sky Eyes gets into a huge political conflict with the other slave revolt leader, and they both conclude they can't defeat the other one. So basically Abazima goes to Sarhal with with slaves, and they go back to their homes. Some of them, however, don't get welcome back because they're a bit too radical. They don't like the fact that people are just doing slavery in their homes because they've been slaves. They don't vibe with it. So they head off with Abazima again, and they go to Madriamilak, which is one of the new Sarhali regions, where they do a huge slave crusade for about 50 years.
Alright, so do they appear as a tag in 1444, or?
No. I mean, my wish is for them to sort of either be rebels that can potentially spawn a tag, or then just be represented as the region of eastern Madriamilak by the coast is really sort of highly autonomous, because the lords are trying to take back control over the region from having it be controlled by the slave revolt for a long time, because it established an actual nation there.
Feels like that concept there kind of reminds me of the whole Unsullied from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I do get that vibe. I was gonna say that. If you'd have said a different thing, I'd have been like, or the Unsullied. But yeah, no, definitely getting that vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you just need to have one person who writes dragons lead them. There you go.
Speaking of dragons, I want to talk about dragons for a second, because I don't know if you noticed, I kind of like dragons. All right.
Yes. Well, I do have one of the dragons in my region. So
yes.
Technically, I should be an expert.
How many dragons are there in Anbennar? Because I've heard 3 as a number, but I don't know how true that is. Or if that's old.
Do you mean alive or what?
Yeah, alive. Oh, I mean, there was the Age of Dragons before the game, of course, but like in Anbennar as it stands right now, if all the stars align for the various tags that have dragons in them, how many dragons are there in the game?
So, I mean, the known ones very much are Varlengailt, who is not a great dragon. He's not the.
All dragons are great. Dragon. No, don't be dragon shaming here.
Okay. He's a great dragon. We love Varlengailt. He's a good guy. He's a wholesome guy. He wants to help his people. He's a chill lad. Don't ask Corensfielders what he did to them.
They're not real people. Don't worry about them.
Yeah, no.
So true. Don't ask what his father did to the people of Arverin either.
Not a problem.
Yes. Basically, but he's one of the most. He's openly a dragon. There is Arket in Sarhal, who has a religion about him now, as part of the Ketist faith group.
How are there so many religions in the Ket group now? This is unnatural to me.
No, do you want to know the reason?
I'm always down to know more.
Okay, so, Aurus sits down, he's like, I'm gonna make a fantasy system for the mandate. You're gonna get this really cool estate called the Ahati. You can recruit, what are they called? Janissary units.
Uh-huh.
Makes sense.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah. Cool
stuff. He looks at the code, he's like, yes, Paradox says, you can recruit these from, because in base game they are, only in different religion provinces.
Uh-huh.
And he looks at it and goes, yeah, Paradox says you can do it in the same religion. Paradox lied.
So we have to make new religions of the same religion.
New religions. Yes.
Just so that we can make the Janissaries work.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, you never know. The Paradox might actually fix it at some point. They have had a recently
I mean, I don't
good
think
track
I
record.
do think the new religions weren't sort of added haphazardly.
No.
There is Niraket is worshipped and was so before, like in the lore. It was quite easy to wrap her up into a new religion because she's literally Eliket's mother.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like she's still a really powerful figure in Ketist mythology, and it does make sense that there could be followers of her, and it's not a very stretched concept. However, and Archetism, it's Archet. He
Yeah, he's
is
just a dragon.
he's just a cool dragon. He's one of the few people. I think he might be the only creature to ever have killed a cat.
Yeah.
I would say
Did the other dragon not do that as well, though?
no. For dragons that have killed Ket, clearly I would count, because in my first Anbennar multiplayer, I played the Phoenix Empire and I killed Keterada, and I like dragons.
Did you kill the cat?
I'm gonna say yes,
You
but
don't have a mechanic for it.
didn't matter. We had roleplay chat where I did it. No, but yeah, okay. So that's
So you basically RP'd with the cat, so you did some furry RP.
I killed them in the RP. Let's
It's still
moving on. Next dragon. Next, we need to move on.
Oh God, sorry, RP. Well, yeah, okay. There's another dragon though, isn't there? The Sand Demon. Still around, right?
The demon of the Salahad.
Yeah, the Demon of Sand. I remember him being the Sand Demon, but yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't know what that guy is doing. Not gonna lie.
I think he's just wandering in the sands, just killing anything that comes in his way for fun. He's being a chill dude.
That doesn't sound chill.
Nah, I mean, to be fair, there's like 5 people in that desert anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's probably very hungry then. There's obviously the Balrjin, or Balris, right? Is the name of it.
Balris. Yeah.
Still yet to give Balrjin a try. But yeah,
it's a fun mission tree.
It's on my list. Honestly, there's so many tags.
How long is your list?
My list is very, very long. I'm not gonna lie. It's getting up there.
I think it's probably more accurate to say that there's a limited number of greater dragons that have names and etc., but there's probably a lot more minor dragons.
There's not that many minor dragons either, I think. Most of the ones that are around are the greater ones because they woke up with the dragon wake. There are some ones that did not wake up with the dragon wake and have been doing stuff in other situations. There's some I don't know how much I'm allowed to speak about.
And the Amadia dragon, are you talking about there?
No, I mean, listen, Amadia is its own mess. I don't know if they're gonna have their dragon. I mean, maybe they are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly sure there is a dragon out phase in Amadia.
There's a cool Damesteer dragon in the Mengi lands.
In where? Where is this?
The Mengi lands in South Sarhal. Like
he's
not East Sarhal.
Notably, the Damesteer dragon was, from what I remember, a creature called from space by the hags to kill another dragon there.
Wait, hang on. Can I ask? Is that what replaced the angel crater? Is that now the Damesteer dragon crater?
It is the corpse of the Damesteer dragon.
That's
okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it. So actually, one thing I wanted to ask about the dragons in Anbennar, do they what kind of lore for dragons do they actually follow? Because I know in D&D, obviously you got your chromatic and your metallic dragons. Various different colors have different skill sets or what have you.
Or characteristics. Yes.
Characteristic, yes.
Or ice cream dragons as well.
I'm not sure I heard of those ones, but sure.
No, they're like they're a fan creation thing. Don't worry about them. It was a joke.
Yeah. Are are Anbennar's dragons following in that same kind of vein?
As far as I know, they are, yes. In the sense that they are, green dragons. To my knowledge, green dragons are supposed to be sort of deceitful fuckers and such.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to follow these characteristics. Varlingald is green, but he's not like a chromatic green dragon.
Okay.
He's some sort of mineral, I think.
Emerald. Go with that.
Well, I don't know. It's unclear because, Droshmagog and Varlingald are pretty cut off from the rest of the dragons in the sense that we don't really know what they've been up to.
Right. And are a bunch of dragons in D&D are able to, like, polymorph into humanoids?
I'm pretty sure all the dragons in Anbennar can do that.
Okay.
They can transform into literally anything. They got that ability, and they're compatible. Don't tell anyone I said this. They're compatible with any species in the land. So,
I mean, that's like Varlingald. I mean, he doesn't have a harem. This is a misconception. But they do send him princesses as tribute. So the Droshmatur lords will send their princesses to him as a tribute, and therefore people meme that he has a harem.
yeah.
So when
and he does have a lot of half-dragon children.
When are the Dragonborn getting added to the game?
I think
As
they
a race.
exist.
I don't think Dragonborn. I think you can play a half-dragon if you want to like play a D&D character. But like in terms of the game, the mod, they are never going to be large enough scale to be implemented as like a pop or anything.
Yes.
Dragon Dominion should sort of have content related to it. Because Varlingald will have a lot of children, and they are the children of your literal dragon god.
That's cool.
So they will have political and religious influence, obviously, and you'll have to deal with them.
I like how this interview went all across the world, from the Yin into Buvari, and then I kind of just dragged it onto the dragons, and...
But we like dragons.
I love me some dragons. What's your favorite kind of dragon?
But in terms of D&D,
I don't really, any.
I don't know. I don't really have a massive concept of dragons in terms of the Anbennar ones. My favorite is one that I don't think I'm allowed to name.
Oh no, I think you'll. I think you're fine. No one's gonna see this anyway. It's fine. In confidence.
Leak things on stream. Nah, I don't think I will.
Fair. No, but yeah. So, is there anything that you would like to shout out or tell people to go look at, to go and check out? Anything you want to, shout out?
I don't know. People who play, the Bitbucket version of Anbennar, who want to test some Inic mission trees. Brellar needs testing. Not the Republican path, which is the one I made. Pivel's path of becoming the Empire needs more looking at, because there have been far fewer play testers for that. So it's unclear to me how good the flow of that part is.
Okay.
A random shout out is, I don't know, people should try Haraf. Because Haraf got a system.
Oh.
And they have
system.
They have intuitive and interesting tribal gameplay, which is, not sentences, not words that should be strung together in the same sentence generally. But Pivel did his best, and I think it turned out really good.
They need to build their tribal buildings, and then they click the decision that gives more tribal land.
Yes.
Okay.
Very cool.
Currently, they can't reform out of it, from what I remember. So it's unfinished, but for the update it will be functional and playable, because obviously if it's not functional for the update, it's not going to be in.
Yeah.
Alright, very cool. Alright, well, thank you very much for coming to chat with us. Really appreciate it. And
thank you for giving me the spotlight.
Yeah, good.
And we'll unceremoniously throw you out. Alright.
Wonderful.
Yeah. See you later, Susurrus.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.